What's up, guys? Fish Keeper is here uh, with the new tank setup. So I wanted to run you guys through my new tank setup. I just got it a little while ago. I've got it pretty much fully cycled now. I'm also using a filter that has been running for months. So this tank is technically fully cycled. I've had it with water and with this filter on there for about 2 weeks. But I'm just waiting for a few more things before I introduce the tangerine tigers that I'm going to be putting in here. But for now, let's talk about what I have. So this is the UNS 5N made by Ultim Nature Systems. Completely rimless. I forget the clarity or whatever, but it's a nice tank. It's 14 inches wide. It was like 14 inches and a little bit shy of 9 inches in height and 9 inches in depth. And so it's a small little tank. It's considered a 4-gallon tank. uh, right there almost with the 5 gallon. The 5 gallon's a little bit wider, but I really like this tank more than a 5 gallon regular rim tank. I'm starting to really fall for these rimless tanks and for aquascaping in general. So this is my third attempt at aquascaping a tank. My first one is the UNS 60L written by red crystal shrimp. Somewhat of an aquascape. This was my first attempt. I mean, that was my first attempt. It's okay, it's so, but it is considered a completely just a breeding tank, so I'm not that worried about the aquascape. It looks fine. My second attempt was a Flu Ball Spec 3, and that one actually was pretty nice. I liked it. It was my best so far. It was my second attempt, although I just sold that off, but I'll talk about that later. And this is my third attempt. I really like this one. I'm kind of proud of it, to be honest. I think I did pretty okay. I wish I had a few more plants in there, but eventually they'll grow in. I currently am not going to be doing any CO2 at the moment. If I would have planned things out a little bit more and I would have waited off a little more, maybe I would have gotten a CO2 system for this. But I figured all these plants that I have in here, I've grown in a no CO2 system. A no CO2 tank. So I'm sure it'll grow in here. The only problem I'm going to have is probably algae in here because it's still considered kind of a new tank. Yeah, the algae, I'm going to have diatom algae pretty soon. So I'm going to keep on with the water changes just to make sure I don't get too much of that going. And yeah, so right now I'm just waiting on more microfauna to grow on surfaces and stuff like that so that I can bring in my tangerine tigers because it's still pretty clean. So I don't want to bring tangerine tigers or any kind of shrimp in here until there's more than enough just surface grazing area. So let's talk about some of the hardscape. I have manzanita wood. That's the wood you see right there. It's the only wood I'm using. I got that from a big haul at a local swap meet. I found a big manzanita branch, and I had those pieces left over from other stuff that I've used, and so I use that. I have ceru stone right in the middle and some landscaping stones on the side. I feel like they look decent enough together where they don't look like they all match kind of thing, like one's, landscaping stones are kind of dark, the ceru stones are kind of light, so it kind of brings a different feel, at least to me in my eyes. It brings a different feel of like natural but yet not unnatural kind of thing. Like it's like if you're looking at a riverbed, you'd see brown rocks, you'd see silver rock, gray rocks, black rocks, all kind of mixed together. So I feel like this looked kind of nice, and also I kind of centered that rock, so you can kind of, like, your eyes go straight to that ceru stone right here, and then they branch out into the branches, I guess. Again, I'm not that good. I'm not really good at all at aquascaping. This is just for me. My phone isn't really catching how nice this looks, to be honest. Not to toot my own horn, but this tank, every time I come into the room and I see it lit up, I'm like, wow, this thing is so beautiful. So that's the hardscape. Plants, I got dwarf sage right here. I got hydrocotyle tripartita right there. I have Ludwigia, just regular like Rubens or red Rubens or whatever. It was grown under low light, so it's green right now. Eventually it'll turn more orangish. Over here I have some Ludwigia mini super red or super red mini, and in the back I have some pinnatifida and some rotala atria right in the center. I might actually bring in more plants just to fill it up even more, but I'm kind of liking how it is, but I'll see. For now, I'm just gonna wait for it to grow in. So that's the plants. Let's talk about the filtration. I just have a little hang-on back filter that I had in a different tank. I would like to get like an Oase Filter Smart 60 on this one too. On this tank as well, I have that on my other tanks. But I'm not sure, yeah, the funding right now to get a $70 filter, and I don't have that right now. So maybe next time I sell some shrimp off, I'll buy another filter like that for this tank. But for now, I just kind of wanted the bacteria to grow, and I'm going to do most of the cleaning in this tank because this is really going to be like more of an Aquascape tank. So I am going to be trimming this tank a lot, and I'm going to be trying to just make sure that this tank looks spotless always. So we'll see how soon I give up on that dream. But for now, I mean, I like to think that I'll stay on this and scrape all the algae and all that, but we'll see. So that's just like an Aquatop mini hang-on back filter, fully cycled, and then on top I have a Phoenix Planet Plus LED clip-on light. I can't really show you that right now because I actually broke my phone mount, and I'm recording on my phone. So if I tilt it up, my phone's gonna fall on the ground. So I'll just kind of leave it there. It's a nice light. It should grow more. It should be like at least medium lighting, so moderate lighting. So most of these plants will grow fine. I'm just gonna do that whole thing of like adding a lot of, fertilizers, but also doing big water changes. At least as much as I can get away with Caridina shrimp because they don't like big water changes. So I'm gonna have to balance that really nicely, and I think I'll figure it out. I'm sure. And so yeah, and then I have some nice pea gravel size kind of sand. It's not really sand. I don't like sand because it kicks up a lot. This is, I mean, you could barely call it sand. Like, it looks like sand, but when you look really closely, they're just really tiny pieces of gravel. And I love that stuff. A lot of my local fish stores carry that, and I've always liked it. Yeah, I like that sand. I also, this aquascape, or whatever you want to call it, I try to do that kind of like an island thing where like you divide where the plants go and where the sand is. So I would like to see, well, actually this is where I'm going to be feeding my shrimp, dropping some food. Hopefully they crawl over here. It could just happen that they don't want to come out and I'll just have to feed them into plants, but I see myself doing that. I am going to be bringing 3 pygmy cories in here that I already have. They're living in a Marine Land cube tank. It's a 3-gallon tank, so they're going to have more space over here to mess around. They'll love the sand as well. I do have Espe, or like, what's it called, lamp chop rasboras in here. I went to get 5, and I accidentally got an exclamation mark chili right there. It was kind of cool, actually. I didn't even know, because when I was picking them out, I was just trying to get the smallest rasboras I could get, and they were all in the school. You can see the difference right there between the little Espe or SB rasbora and the exclamation rasbora. I believe that's an exclamation rasbora. I don't think that's a regular chili. Super healthy though. I've been trying to look for chili rasboras here locally in San Diego, and they are all really bad. I guess because of the shipping and everything, and well, they already normally are pretty weak with shipping, but I think with the whole like virus and stuff, shipping has been pretty bad globally, and I think most chilies that arrive at local fish stores, they just look really bad. Actually, my dad just bought like 15, like maybe like a month ago at the most, and most of them ended up dying just slowly. Like they just slowly stopped even moving, and they were already discolored anyways to begin with. But this guy really fooled me because I really thought, I mean, it looked like a little, what's it called? Lamb chop rasbora, I guess. Espe rasbora. I've always liked these rasboras. Maybe not so much the exclamation mark, although now that I see it, I really like it. I've always liked and I always wanted to have some Espe rasboras, but every time that I find them, they're already fully grown. I don't know what that is. Locally, it was always so hard to find small ones, and I know they don't grow that fast. So it was really amazing to see them pretty big. I mean, they don't get that big, but they were all full grown, and I kind of wanted to see them grow in my tank. So I was able to get these guys. They were also really lively, and I was like, let's just get them. And I accidentally got the exclamation mark one. So what I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna go to the same pet store and get another 2 or 3 of the little SP Rasboras. I think they're called like micro Rasboras. I'm gonna get like 2 or 3 more. Actually, that could also be a strawberry Rasbora. I'm not sure. I'm gonna try to get 3 more of those. Hopefully, I can find them because they weren't labeled as anything but just SP Rasbora. So it was a mistake. I'm gonna go see if I can get a few more. Hopefully, there are a few more in that tank, and bring him over so that way he has a few buddies. I completely trust little micro Rasboras like the chilies and exclamation marks with shrimp. The SP Rasboras, I actually never kept Harlequin Rasboras or any kind of like those like diamond shaped Rasboras. So I don't with shrimp. So I don't really know how they would do with shrimp. I'm gonna have to keep an eye on them. If they decide to get a little too crazy with my shrimp, since this is kind of a shallow tank, what I will end up doing is I will end up getting these guys and switching them out with my what is it called? What are they called? Emerald Eye Rasboras. I'll just switch tanks. So I have a little school of like 5 Emerald Eye Rasboras in my tall tank. I'll bring them over here. They're really docile, and I'll take those over there. And the reason why I think they'll do better over there is because the colony of blue dreams that they would be going in with live in a tall tank. So there's a good like 10 inches between where the shrimp are at and where the fish are at. So that lends to no real problems with fish going down there. I also used to keep clown killies up there, and they would rarely go down to get blue dream shrimp. Also, the blue dream shrimp are reproducing so much that you can barely see any kind of damage to their colony when maybe 1 or 2 get eaten. So if that happens, I will move them over, but I really hope not. I really hope they're kind of calm. As long as I'm able to keep some tangerine tigers reproducing, I'll be okay with it. I really like these fish. I don't like fish that much anymore. I'm more into shrimp and plants now, but this is the fish that I'm like. I like this fish. So this fish and the panda loach. But panda loaches are not something I'm gonna be doing anytime soon. For now, but yeah. So super excited. I always say super excited, but I am really excited about this. And we'll see where it goes. I'm really hoping that I can keep it clean because there's no CO2 in here. So algae is gonna run amok eventually. It's gonna happen. So I might actually get some Nerite snails as well. I don't normally like getting snails, but I might because some of those Nerite snails are really nice. I've never been able to find them, but the local fish store that I go to, where I got these little Rasboras, has like the nice Nerite snails, like those like race track looking ones, the horned ones, zebra ones. They're really nice. So I might actually get some of those. But for now, this is it. I will be adding the pygmy cories pretty soon, probably today later on, and then the tangerine tigers are going to be a while probably because I do want to, like I said, wait until the surfaces in this tank are kind of covered a little more. And I will probably also end up whiting out the back with a, what is it called, like a privacy tint kind of thing, kind of like a glaze look. I forgot what that's called. It's called a, well, I forget what it's called. I'll just edit that out. I'll be putting a film in the back, basically, a vinyl that I have here. And that'll make it so that I really like that because I don't like to clean the back of my tank, like scrape the algae off the back of the tank. I don't like doing that because it disturbs a lot. And most of my setups, I have everything towards the back. So that film that I'm going to be applying really looks nice. Once it gets covered evenly with algae, it'll look like your tank has just a nice tint to it in the back. That's how my UNS 60L is. The back has a film that like weird privacy film, like the blurred vision film, and it I never cleaned it in the back, and it looks really nice. It actually looks like it's like there's like a theme to the back almost, like it was on purpose. So I'm gonna be doing that here. I did try white as a background before, and it worked out okay, but white really shows algae on it pretty bad. Black would work as well, but I'm kind of tired of black. It's a little too classic for me. Doesn't seem modern anymore. It reminds me almost of the blue background. So that being said, I do have a tank with a black background, but I think that it made everything look a little more dull. So I'm gonna go with the film that I said. So yeah, this is the tank, guys. Like and subscribe if you can. Hit the notification bell. Comment in the comment section below. Do you have any rimless tanks? Which brand do you prefer? I know some people like ADA. I just realized that Aquascape makes some really nice rimless tanks I didn't even know about. Waterbox as well. But I just stick to UNS because that's what they have at local fish stores. And when I trade in shrimp and stuff like that, that's what I get. But let me know, guys. Like, subscribe if you can. Thanks for watching, and peace.